Hey everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I wanted to show you my favorite products from July. I did not do a June favorites just because I didn't have enough to really do a video. I had like a thing or two that I could think of that I really loved, and I didn't think it was worth making a video. So I just carried those on into my favorites for this month. So jumping right into it, my first favorite, and I showed this in my summer essentials video, is I actually talked about it, I didn't show it, but this is the Sun Labs Self Tanning Foam Dark Sunsation Instant Tint. The color is very dark. So my bottle, they actually sent this to me a couple weeks ago, and when I got it, it had leaked just a tiny bit. Like, it didn't seem like any was actually missing. I still had a totally full bottle, but just enough leaked to kind of discolor the bottle. So I don't have the prettiest bottle, but I have always used the Sun Labs Dark Tanning, the Self Tanning Lotion. Really like it. Have always really liked it. Just a really natural color. Doesn't smell too strong and just lasts well. And like the big thing is for me, it's just the color is so natural. Well, they decided to send me, and I had purchased the lotion on my own multiple times. They had sent it to me, but I've purchased that on my own because I love it so much. So they sent me this to try, the foam, and I love it. Like, I thought I loved the lotion. I love this so much more than the lotion. I will definitely be repurchasing the foam from now on. It's really dark, kind of a grayish green color, which looks a little scary, but that counteracts, I think, the orangey tone that self-tanners tend to make you look like. So I love it. So I use a mitt. They sent me their tanning mitt, which so far really love, but I've used Saint Tropez tanning mitt. Ulta has a tanning mitt. You can pretty much get them anywhere, but I love that for any self-tanner because it keeps your hands clean and it prevents streaking. It's seriously the easiest way to apply self-tanner. So I use a tanning mitt with this. I love this because it leaves a slight tint on your skin. So you can see where you put it and you kind of look tan right away, but it is not like the lotion where it almost makes you look dirty. Like the lotion, I can sometimes get away with putting that on before I go out somewhere, but for the most part, it like kind of clings to like the hair on my arm, or it just kind of looks a little dirty. This just looks like a little bit of an instant tan, and then it develops into a beautiful tan. So don't look at me right now for an example. I have not used this in a week because I've just been busy and haven't had a chance to, so I'm not tan right now, but I am in love with it. It just goes on so easily, and my favorite part is that it just absorbs. It absorbs instantly, dries so quickly. It is just so simple. It doesn't take time to rub in. It just like boop, boop, boop. You can see where you put it. So highly, highly recommend this. Love this. We'll be repurchasing this, I think, to infinity, unless I find something better, but I really am really happy with it. All right, so with this humid summer weather, it definitely takes a toll on my hair, and I have naturally wavy hair with the texture that I, blow dry straight because it's not enough to really do anything with it. It's just enough to make my hair look crappy when it's humid. So I can get my hair perfectly blown out, round brushed, looking great, and then I step outside and then it just gets frizzy and fluffy looking and not good. So I have had this, I probably should have double checked that they still make this. I'm sure they still make this, but I've had this for several years. It's something I only use a tiny bit each time, and it just lasts for me. So this is the L'Oreal Ever Sleek Sulfate-Free Humidity Defying Leave-In Cream. And I remember Marnie, Ms. Gold Girl, talking about this years ago, so I picked it up and I really like it. It's something I only use when it's humid because otherwise I don't need it. It is a pump. My pump broke, so I just twisted it off and put a little bit in my hands, but I use this when my hair's out of the towel. I put a leave-in conditioner detangler type product in to comb it out, and then I'll put a little bit of this in. Too much and your hair will get kind of greasy looking, so just a little bit on the ends around my face where it tends to get the worst when it's humid, and it literally keeps my hair frizz-free. Now, it's not like I just blow dried it, but it really helps. It really makes a difference. So if you struggle with your hair getting frizzy in the summer, try this. Love it. All right, so kind of going along with the theme of humidity and the summer weather, my skin also gets more oily in the summer. So I have been using the Mercier mineral powder foundation to set my makeup, kind of give me a little more coverage. Love it because it's not powdery, it's not too matte or cakey looking. Well, it can get cakey looking if you put too much, but it's not too matte. It gives your skin a natural looking glow, so it still kind of looks fresh faced and dewy and everything. But in the summer it can be too much and it can look, I can still look oily. So what I do is I lightly buff the Mercier one, and then I take this, the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. I've had this again for years, and I just put that in my T-zone around my nose and then kind of on my chin a little bit too. And I can't say if this helps keep me matte throughout the day. Like honestly, I didn't pay that close attention to it, but I have been using this for months. I've had this for years, so I pull it out off and on. But what I do is, like I said, after I do my foundation and my bronzer and all that, if I feel like I need, and most days I do, if I feel like I need just a little bit of matteness on my forehead and T-zone and everything, I'll just swipe this on. It mattes it out. And what I love about it is it doesn't really have any coverage. I mean, maybe a tiny bit of coverage, and it's just very light. So it's not like, oh, just adding one more product on, or it's gonna look cakey, or it just does so much. It's not, it just like mattes it out. But I'm able to then leave my cheeks, which I want luminous, and then the rest of my face a little more luminous, but then take control of the oil. And throughout the day, if I feel like I need oil control, I can touch up with that. And I just really like it that it doesn't really add any coverage or anything. It just mattes my face out. All right, so I have a mascara favorite. I received a sample of this, the Dior Addict It Lash, and my sample is beat up because I used this until this could not be used any longer. So I just purchased the full size. It comes in this really pretty packaging. But I got this as a sample from Sephora. I will show you what the brush looks like. It's a rubber kind of, I hope you can see it. It's a rubber kind of spiky brush, and it's spiky at the end there, if you can see it. So usually not my favorite kind of brush. And this is actually the first time I've used the full size. Today is the first time I've used it. I have been using this sample for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it is so dry. I have been like almost biting it, well, not almost, I have been like biting it to get all of the mascara on the wand that I can, because you can't really twist it around inside this tube. So I've just been wanting to use this so much. I love it. What I love about it is that, and a lot of Dior mascaras that I've tried are like this. They tend to be a drier formula and they dry out fairly quickly. So that can be a downside because they can dry out too much, too quickly. But I tend to really like a dry mascara, at least for my first, like laying the base. Because with a drier mascara, I feel like I can just coat and coat and coat and really build volume without them clumping together. If it's too wet, I end up with all my lashes sticking together and it looks like I have 3 thick lashes, which is not what I want. So today, because this is the first time I used the full size, it's as wet as it's going to be, and it wasn't as good as the sample. But it'll get that way. It'll dry out a little bit and get a little thicker. But what I love about it is it's just so, it makes my lashes so fluttery looking and so soft because it's that dry formula. So I can just coat and build amazing volume with my lashes. And the funny thing is, I was reading the reviews on Sephora's website, and so many people were commenting that it really lengthens their lashes, but it doesn't thicken them at all, which I just find, I don't know, I find that crazy because it gives me so much volume. And as it dries out, if it like when with the sample, once it got really dry, I would just coat as much as I could on my lashes to really build that volume. And then I would take a different, some type of other mascara that had a more wet formula to get the tips of my lashes and just make them just extra black, because if it's too dry, then often it doesn't get on the tips of my lashes or really lengthen, it just thickens. So sometimes you need to layer a little bit like that. But love this for very full, fluttery, soft looking lashes. So I can't wait for this to dry out just a little bit so that it's back to where the sample was, but really happy with this so far. And for me to repurchase it, being that it was a $26 mascara, you know I loved it. It was good stuff. So my last favorite is a nail polish. I showed this in my favorite nail polishes for summer. If you didn't see that, I'll link it below. And I also showed this on Instagram. I have no nail polish on right now. I could use it, but I'm like cleaning around the house, doing a bunch of stuff, and didn't feel like painting my nails just for them to be butchered up. So my favorite for the month is Sinful Colors in the color Endless Blue. Such a pretty royal cobalt blue shade. It's a cream. This formula is incredible. 2 coats is 100% opaque and so glossy. It just looks, even without a top coat, it just looks incredible. It's just such a beautiful formula. It lasted for days on my nails. Love, love, love this color. I'm just so into that like brilliant cobalt blue. All right, so favorites. Let me know what your favorites for the month have been, if you have any suggestions for me, and I will talk to you soon. So see you, everybody.